Okay, so real quick, just a few things we want to talk about before we start sending animals and people out there. The first thing is, we just booked the date for the expo, for the educational expo that we have here at the Nature Center. It's going to be Sunday, May 2nd. And really what we want to do tonight is we want to kind of get an idea of who wants to volunteer. We're going to probably send a sheet around or a notebook, something, anybody to write down what, you know, if you plan on coming. I know you said you probably won't be able to do it this year? May 2nd? Okay. So Al, you're going to be...
What are the hours?
Okay. We're going to be doing it 12 to 4, same as usual. Has anybody not been to it yet? Does anybody not know what it's like? Well, what we do is we actually have both rooms open, you know, the wall's gone, and we set up 8 tables, 10 tables around the room. We do different displays of different reptiles and amphibians. I usually do a table that mainly concentrates on New York City's species. Sometimes I go out a few nights before and I catch a bunch of different species and I hold them over for the, you know, for the day, and we bring them in here so people can take a look at them, because a lot of people have never seen a spring peter before, or, you know, have never seen a great tree frog, which are on Staten Island. So we like to have them here so that people can not only read something about them but see them. So we also do different tables. Al brings his corn snakes and stuff. Dr. Pete talks about different husbandry issues and diseases that come across that reptiles and amphibians come across in captivity. Al helped us out one year because we always do like a members table where members come in and bring a pet of their own. And just an idea of when people come in and walk around, they can see what kind of pets are out there and, you know, what does it take to take care of them and stuff like that. So what we want to do this year is expand on it, and we're going to have a table outside with somebody from the club. We might do it in rotations where somebody's going to be out there at all times for people that are coming in to kind of give them an idea of what's going on. You know, maybe get that sign a sign-in sheet for us, give them some information about the club, what we do, and then let them come on in. The other thing we're going to do is, really what I want is for volunteers, we usually have who we need for the tables. We usually have the 8 tables. But we have one table. I want to know who wants to volunteer as a member to bring a pet and to talk about it. Yes. So we're going to send a list around. You can let us know what you want to bring. Because the other thing we're going to do is, usually we have stuff just situated on the tables. People come in, they'll ask a question or two. This year, Leslie came up with the idea of doing it like the zoo does, sort of like a docent. We'll have a meeting before the actual expo, and we're going to give out literature. If you sign up and say you want to bring a corn snake for the day, you want to talk about, Ellen, if you want to bring your blue tongues or your Russian tortoise, and you want to talk about it, we're going to just go over we're just going to sit down as a group and go over the facts that we want to tell people about the animals, you know, where they're from, what they eat.
And each person will get a fact sheet, a rigid fact sheet, where you can give them the basic facts. But because it's your pet, you can then give them the things that you have observed. They're really calm, what their personality has been like. And this way they have the human side and they have the clinical side of keeping that particular animal.
So it's something different we wanted to do than just have them. What happens is, you know, every year people are just walking in, walking around, looking at stuff, and maybe never saying anything to anybody. But now we want to have, this year we're going to try to have more literature, more things for them to read. So this way they're not just looking at something and scratching their head and saying, what the hell is that?
We want it to be more interactive.
We want it to be more interactive. We want it to be more educational. We want them to actually learn something when they come in here. Especially nowadays with all the stuff that's going on with these big pythons and people thinking that they're eating people and they're destroying the Everglades, and it's like this huge mess. You know, it's really not as extreme as they're making it, but there's bad press out there, and this is something that we can do in the community to sort of give a positive spin on the animals that we love and we teach. So we're gonna be making phone calls about this. So we're gonna have you write down. We're gonna send a piece of paper around tonight. You write down if you want to volunteer, what you want to do, what you're interested in doing that day, and that'll be fine. And we'll get back to you over the next 2 weeks because we're really starting to plan.
Don't worry if it's a common pet that you think everybody in the club has. It's not us that's going to be learning the information, it's the people who are gonna be coming. So they're gonna wanna see anything and everything that creeps, crawls, and slithers. So if it's the pet that you happen to like, feel free to say, I want a pet.
I mean, it could even be an animal. I mean, everybody looks at that and says, oh, you know, it's a $2 lizard, you know, but people buy them and people have no idea what kind of, you know, care they need. And they really do need a lot of care besides, you know, what people actually think. You know, they win them at a carnival, they're like, oh, it's so cute, it comes in this little plastic thing, you know, and they leave it in there for a few weeks and it's dead, you know. So we can actually, whatever it is, it's, you know, it's like they say, you know, no question is a stupid question. So, next thing we're just going to talk about is we actually have a few events going on that we're planning. We're really, Fred, myself, Fred, and Leslie, we sat down. We have a few different things. We're going to do the barbecue at the end of June. This year we're going to try to get permits and do a wolf pond. We're going to actually barbecue instead of having sandwiches and all that other stuff just because it's too much. We're going to barbecue there. They have the beach. They have the lake. You can fish. You can walk around and look for reptiles. There's plenty of them there. And there's a dog run if you want to bring your dog. There's a park for the kids. There's a lot to do. There's basketball courts. So it's really nice there, and it's a great place for us to meet. So we're going to plan that as well. And the first trip we're really going to plan on is
April. We're shooting for we don't have an exact date in April, but we'd like to go to the Baltimore Aquarium where they have an Australian outback reptile set up. And we're going to try and get a behind-the-scenes tour. So we're going to get that in the works within the next week to talk to these people and see what we can get. We're not renting a bus. Everybody's going to go down by car. We'll leave at the same time, and we'll try.
You can carpool if anybody, like I have an Explorer, 7 seats.
Right, anybody who has a bigger vehicle that can fit multiple people.
Yeah, we'll do it that way instead of taking 2 people in one car and one in another, and we'll carpool it.
Right. So we'll let you know exactly how much it's going to cost. What you would need to bring, whether, you know, what we would do about lunch and that kind of thing, and how long. It's going to be a long day trip, so figure being out the whole day. And it ought to be a lot of fun. So we'll keep you posted with that.
okay. So all right, we're going to try to get started now. So Fred, do you want to find out how do we want to do this? You want to get first person up, send people out. We'll actually take pictures in the end with the kids. I brought my own camera. We can do pictures with the kids.
Is it going to open this way? Okay.